Hey everybody, and welcome to Anime for Life. Hope you guys are all enjoying your Halloween. I know I'm kind of just lazing about today. We've got my cat here beside me, but that's about it. I haven't had anyone come to the door or anything. So instead, I decided to celebrate the spirit of Halloween by suggesting a few manga series that go well with the spirit of Halloween. And to start off with, I'll jump in with something a little bit lighter to start off with, because the next ones are not so light. And that one would be My Roommate Isn't From This World. And what this one is about, it's a cute little series about a guy who lives on his own, and he basically lives with a ghost. And what this ghost does is she just pretty much pulls pranks on him. She watches what he does in his day-to-day life, and she spooks him and scares him. And over time, you find that she kind of just has a little bit of an affection for him. And over time, you find that he kind of starts coming around to her and starts liking her too. And they just start having kind of a mutual understanding for one another. And they have their banters back and forth, and it's just a really pretty cute manga overall with its ghosts and ghouls. Like they have the one. I don't think she's an onryo. I think she's an 8 foot tall woman. She comes in and she like, for some reason she's a nudist or something like that, and she lives in the closet for a while, and then she like gets some sort of, I don't know, like deal or something to be featured in a magazine or something, so she stops living in the closet and moves out. I don't know. It's a really funny bit in this story. Um, but yeah, that it's a more of a light-hearted um, series that deals with the ghouls and the ghosts and things like that. So if you're not looking for something super scary, but you're looking for still something that deals with the ghosts and spirit of Halloween, then this is um, definitely one to check out. Now more to move on to True Halloween. Kiriko and Kiriko Kills. Now you're probably wondering why I haven't shown anything rather than just the covers, and that's because of the content of the series in which I'll be discussing. They are too graphic to show. I will be immediately banned if I show anything, so I can only show the covers, and the cover right away should be enough to give them away. But anyway, Kiriko is basically about, and Kiriko Kills, are basically about a group of people who come back for a reunion. Because they get a letter, an invitation letter to their old school, just simply signed K. And they don't know who K is or anything. They just know that it's an invitation to come back and have a reunion. And so they come back and they're trying to find this mystery and solve it on who this K person is. But as they're trying to find out this mystery, one after the other, they're killed off. Until eventually they find out that this K person is Kiriko, who is this person on the cover here. And Kiriko used to be an old classmate of theirs. And she was killed in an accident, and she's now come back as a vengeful spirit. But I won't go any more into that because otherwise I'll kill the whole story. No pun intended. And Kiriko Kill is the sequel to Kiriko, and it takes place well after they have solved the whole mystery. But it's got some twists and turns into it, and it involves the last two survivors of the first one. And there's quite a few twists over that one. But I can't spoil too much, otherwise I'll give the first one completely away. But it's quite the good thriller. if not very, very violent. It's very reminiscent of Higurashi in terms of brutality. But very good. If you're looking to get your violence fetish satisfied, Kiriko and Kiriko Kill are definitely the ones to do. And it's definitely got your psychological factors as well. But overall, a really, really good series to get your spooks off. Next one, Pumpkin Night. Pumpkin Night is one of my all-time favorite horror mangas. And I actually did one of my anime showdowns videos based on these. Naoko Kirino, the Pumpkin Night girl here, versus everyone's favorite yandere queen, Yuno Gasai. And Naoko Kirino was originally just your everyday, happy-go-lucky schoolgirl. There was nothing wrong with her aside from her just really just marching to the beat of her own drum, which is what got her picked on. But every year, her school held the Pumpkin Night pageant, which is basically, Halloween ball. And as a prank, they tricked her to being nominated, but the prank that they pulled on her went horribly, horribly wrong and left her mangled and mutilated when they put the pumpkin mask, which is what you see her wearing here, went up in flames because they rigged it. And to hide their mistake, they basically got her locked up in a mental institution and just forgot about her. And so she eventually went completely insane, got out, and has now sworn revenge on everybody who's wronged her. And she has no qualms about going about it in the most ruthless and bloody ways possible. Like, she would put Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees in a state of utter shock and respect if they saw the ways that she did her killings. Like, she's very, very intuitive in how she goes about things. And she's got a very, very fine taste in music, too. She makes references to Queen a lot. But it is a very, very good series. And although she is a psychotic psychopath, confirmed to actually be a Yangair, which is a step up from a Yandere, she basically does it just because she enjoys to do it rather than she's doing it for obsessive love. You still root for her because the people who did the things that they did to her to make her this way, they deserve what they're getting. It basically puts them in the spotlight of, well, as the Joker said, you get what you fucking deserve. But yeah, it's another very, 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 very violent manga that walks a gray area of it's wrong, you know what she's doing is wrong, and she deserves to be punished for what she's doing, but at the same time, if you were in her position, I know I honestly, with good conscience, could not say, no, there's no way I wouldn't have done the same. I honestly probably would have taken her same path. Next up, Chimamare Sukeban Chainsaw and Chimamare Sukeban Chainsaw Reflesh. This series actually got a live-action movie. And while the live-action movie was pretty low budget, like 1930s level of low budget in terms of props, it was actually a pretty good movie, in my opinion. It was like 100% almost authentic to the manga. Like, you could tell chapter for chapter where they were at. And what it's about is it's about a girl named Giko, who's on the front cover there, the girl with the dark hair. And she's just a typical Sukeban, which basically translates to English as delinquent. And the blonde girl, who's got the long blonde hair there, just behind Giko, she's a psycho, like an absolute whack job. But she's also a genius. She's a very, very smart inventor of things. Um, like the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde almost. And she makes all these creations, and basically she's turned the entire student body into like her own little science project. And so Giko has to go around wiping out um, Nero's little science projects, her former classmates, in order to stop Nero along the way. And the girl behind her, the one with the pink hair, that's kind of got the hentai protagonist haircut here, she's actually one of Nero's little projects, but she eventually does become involved with Giko. Physically, actually. They actually do become a couple. But it's a very action-packed, very bloody. In fact, that's what it literally translates to, is bloody delinquent chainsaw girl. Very gory series. It's got its twists and turns, and it's actually got some quite emotional moments too. Like when the one kid dies there. That was one of the more emotional parts in the series, because the kid's there with you for quite a long time, and then they get off, and then it shows a lot of emotion in that scene. But it's also got a lot of its funny moments too, because Giko is one of those real no fucks to give, just does what she wants, doesn't care what other people think. And yeah, let's just say the way that they go about with some of their weaponry and all that is just a little off the top. Let's just say it's wacky. Like the girl that gets involved with Giko, the Bakutani, that's her name, the hentai protagonist hairstyle girl there. The way she uses her weaponry, it's something. Let's just say that. And finally, Her Majesty's Swarm. This one is literally the Queen of Blades, Sarah Kerrigan of manga. It doesn't really tell you how she got where she was at, or really a backstory of who she was. It really just plops you right into it. It really just has her waking up into the setting already, and she herself doesn't know how she got there. But she basically explains that she used to play this game where she took control of this like insect kind of race, much like the Zergs from StarCraft. And she was like the most feared player of this game, and that played this particular faction. And she takes control of them again once she kind of gets her bearings, and she says, okay, if I don't take control of these guys, they could very well kill me, right? If things are as I assume they seem to be, they could very well kill me, and I don't want to die. So she takes control of them as their queen, and she starts branching out, trying to make diplomacy and find resources, etc., etc., etc. And she makes peace with this one elf village, if I remember correctly. And things are going well. They form a diplomatic relationship that benefits both sides. She offers protection, they offer resources, and everything's all good. Until her allies get basically murdered and slaughtered. And so because of this, she becomes enraged and basically goes heart of the swarm on these people in a absolute bloody tirade. Like, it's brutal on what she does to them, and it spares no no form of effort to show you what she does to these people. And it's very, very bloody, very gory, very violent on what these people go through. And she even straight up says it. She doesn't care if they're man, woman, or child. Murder them all. Like, give them show them what they showed the innocent elves, and don't spare a single one of them. Doesn't matter how old or how young they are. Murder them all. And she has got some of the best psychotic expressions I've ever seen, and man, can she deliver a speech. But again, if I show any of it, I'm going to be immediately banned. I wish I could show you a little bit from each of these series, but I can't. And so those are my Halloween recommendations. I was hoping to do a few of these a little bit earlier, but unfortunately, things got in the way, and I wasn't able to do them now. So chances are I won't even really be able to get this up quite on time. In fact, looking at the time, it's actually a little bit after the Halloween. It's actually technically midnight, so technically it's November the 1st now, but whatever, technicalities. But I would highly suggest, if you're looking for a good fright, except for maybe the first one, because that one's more of a wholesome one. But yeah, if you're looking for a good fright or good old just fashioned gore fest or something for your Halloween, definitely check these ones out, because they definitely satisfied my need for it when I read them through. And I actually forgot all about Kiriko until I actually made this. I was just looking for some other ones that I wanted to put through this list, and then I ran past it. I'm like, oh, that has to be on there. And yeah, I can keep making these if you would like. Like I said with my last video, comment, tell me if you like these kind of videos, because I can keep making them. They don't take long. But yeah, that's all of them. Kiriko Kills, Roommate from Another World, Pumpkin Night, Chimamare, Majesty Swarm, all of those. I can keep doing those. But tell me for next time if you want another one of similar or some other genre, and I can do it. But until then, keep enjoying anime, and anime for life.